Yeah, sure. What's up, Smofos? I lost my voice, so I gotta talk in this real sexy black people voice. And by black people, I just mean like people with deep voices and the bass.
Oh, sorry. No, cut away.
What are you doing?
I was trying to look.
Hi, guys.
Continue.
So, yeah, my voice is legit gone, so I have to talk like an adult for a little bit. So I hope all of you like it. Before I get to introducing the sexy beasts who are a fusion on the couch,
I don't understand.
I would like to, oh God, I can hear myself. Shout outs, because just in case you didn't know this was live, this is live as it is Smosh Games Alliance Live, SGA Live for short. Thug Life has nothing to do with it. Brittany Pineda, hello, Ellen Hoek, Roaz, Hawkeye 2124. Why the numbers? What are they? Is that the year you were born? Are you from the future? Star Music 01 Peterge. The J is an H with the throaty sound, I'm assuming. Rachel Raven, The Dragon Kid 564. Again with the numbers. Scott _ 5, which is next to the 6. Rory Berry, that is great. This person whose name is Zachariah _ SGA, but all it's an X there though. So it's like Kathleen Adkins. Of course, we see you. We'll probably see you at VidCon along with Nisa, who is also always in the chat. Ash K, who, if that is the right Ash
Ketchum,
desperately wants to meet us, and I don't really blame her. Ashton Trollball is there if you're looking for an Ash. Hello, Hattie Drago. Hello to all of you. Welcome to SGA Live, the show that bridges between us. I am your mentor, Flitz, and on the couch to my right, you know them, you love them, but they've known each other longer than you've known them. Wes and Joven.
Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Hello. You how you guys doing today? Been
Post Comic Con, pre VidCon.
Yeah, there's so
many cons.
There's so many cons, and we've had breaks, Friday breaks. Jason Parker, who is kind of the most serious about all of this, I think, hates missing a day, and it breaks his heart that sometimes we have to miss a Friday. So this is a Friday where we're going to share a lot. There is so many news, so many things that we could talk about.
What do you want to talk about?
I
ditch the notes.
Speak from the heart. I need the notes because there's
use the notes.
It's not all. They're bullet points at this point. But speaking of all the cons, we will not next Friday. We will not be live, but we will be having a meet and greet from VidCon. So maybe if you want to create a tornado of human and surround us and sweep us away to the land of Oz and magic, I would recommend, if you make it to VidCon, if you're going to be in the Southern California area and you can make it to Anaheim, come say hi. We will give hugs and take pictures with, and maybe even handshakes, because none of us use hand sanitizers because we're diseased.
Yay,
beings.
germs.
Yay, germs. That's how you evolve. Comic-Con was a big deal. Holy gravy. So,
Yeah, it was
I mean, it's was my 8th? I don't even know. I've been to so many Comic-Cons. How many Comic-Cons have you two been to?
Do you know
my
me?
third one.
15.
15?
Oh my God.
That's right,
Actually-
because your dad is in the industry.
Yeah, technically 14 because I skipped 1 year for King of the Nerds.
Well,
Oh,
there
really?
you go. Yeah, that's the year I would have had to skip for King of the Nerds as well, and I was like, F that. Want to go to Comic-Con.
My choice.
I don't care about being on TV, like, in that capacity. I don't want to compete for my nerddom, but good job, Joven. You got slapped by a girl who is now your wife. Congratulations. So, Comic-Con, Jeff Keighley tweeted, which I retweeted, and I'm like, this is a great point. An issue with Comic-Con is security. An issue with Comic-Con is leaks. And a movie studio rep, Sue Kroll, said, well, the people at Comic-Con need to heighten on their security so that we don't have any more leaks, because we designed an experience for a room of 6,000 people.
Stupid.
Yeah, well, I don't like to use the word stupid, but it is very, very, very silly.
It's
in an
very
age of
old school.
It is. It's the old guards. It's the old guards, and it doesn't make any sense. They are relying on the word of mouth of 6 people to get the word out about how amazing a trailer was.
Yeah, they
and
still want to
then-
use word of
they
mouth.
still-
How old Hollywood is that when they want to utilize the tool word of mouth?
But now we exist in an age where we're in an information age where people are sharing all of their experiences of their life left and right. So the movie trailers leak one at another time. Jeff Keighley, who formerly of Game Trailers, now has moved on to bigger, better pastures, or just parallel pastures, really, ultimately. That's how I see it. But he said something along the lines of how Comic-Con can take note from E3, and maybe these panels that people wait in line for so long for, maybe they should be live streamed the
Yeah,
same way E3 conferences are streamed. And that makes such an amazing amount of sense.
Yeah, I tweeted something very similar, and I was very vocal about saying that I think Comic-Con now is a giant waste of money on so many ends.
Yeah, it's yeah.
When it comes to parties, when it comes to the booths, when it comes to the foot traffic that even just goes to Comic-Con, you have people. If you were to pull Keely's idea and live stream these main events, you could actually cut back on foot traffic that is at Comic-Con
Ridiculous
and
amount of
still
foot traffic.
have a lot of people show
you'd
up.
have more. Yes, you would, because there are people who want to be there physically.
San Diego then would like Comic-Con that much more because it's not as much foot traffic.
Which, from what I understand, the mayor of San Diego doesn't even like. He's like, I'd trade it for something else.
Yeah,
at this
it's
point.
a necessary, unnecessary evil. Like, it's good to have there because it does bring in a lot of revenue to one small area of San Diego, but at the same time, it's too much. It's not good.
It's great
It's
for
excessive.
it's great for the big pockets. It's great for the hotels.
Yeah,
It's great for
But
the
even then, it's
convention
great for the
center.
hotels because they've taken the monopoly on it and just like
Yeah,
overcharge way too much.
But it's
horrible to me.
it's great for the hotels, the smaller
Yeah.
business. I mean, I've been to enough Comic Cons to know that people aren't going into the hat stores to buy hats because they're buying hats at the con. They aren't going into the different little stores on Market and
Different
K
boutiques.
and all that because they come with their money with the intent for Comic Con.
Yeah, just to spend it at
The
Comic-Con.
food places are swamped. Good for them, and they're doing really well. But they are not so swamped because people come for their money at Comic-Con, and when Subway is giving out free sandwiches, and people are willing to wait to get those free sandwiches and X, Y, and Z. So it's interesting because I really don't want to have to ask the question, but in its seemingly
just-
unevolving state, is Comic-Con worried more about their own gain in terms of money and power as opposed to the potential industry gain and the fans?
That makes sense.
Just
If
a
you keep
platform.
everything inside of Comic-Con, then it gives Comic-Con the reason to go to these movie studios and ask for even more
Exclusives,
money.
great exclusives and more money.
For more reasons for people to go to Comic-Con. But then you had the Star Wars event in Hall H, which was the right way to activate fans, where everyone who was at the Star Wars Hall H panel then got escorted out to an outdoor concert with John Williams. Now you have the trailer that was the behind-the-scenes trailer that was then released on the internet. But if you were there at Comic-Con, you got an extra special bonus, and that's the right way to do it. Don't make something like Suicide Squad where it's like, oh no, don't show the trailer. Did you read the press release for the Suicide Squad panel?
No.
So it was.
I don't do panels.
So 3 days afterwards, I think the trailer was released on Monday. The press release went out on their Facebook page saying that they worked effortlessly all weekend long to keep the trailer from being leaked online, and they were tired of working so hard. And quote verbatim, the piracy won.
Yes.
And it's like, no, it's not
It's
piracy.
not piracy.
Just instead of
It's-
having 6,000 people saw it, you saw 2
Yes.
million people
and,
seeing
and
the trailer.
It's you know what one organic function one.
Yeah.
That is it's very organic. Whether they want to control their property, we get it. But you're working against nature, and you're not going to win working against nature, no matter.
Yeah, they
how
have
much.
their marketing plan, and that makes sense. They have a schedule they want to hit, but again, that schedule they're trying to accomplish is old Hollywood. That's not how we function anymore. We function with live streams. We function with sharing information as soon as it hits. a wider audience. Old
It's a
Hollywood
greater
versus-
shared experience
It's not even what
across
we're
the
talking
board.
about.
Like,
Old
it's-
Hollywood, stop doing what you're doing.
Well, no, it's yes, or I'd say because one of the things that like I think about in terms of language and what even me disliking the word no, I function very much so on momentum and the yes and rule. Keep doing what you're doing, but in being conscious of the environment,
Evolve.
and do what you're doing, evolve.
But no,
grow
they won't.
with
They-
us
they-
as opposed
it's
to trying to
decade after decade,
make
Old
us-
Hollywood does not adapt.
Well, this
they
is well,
very slowly.
and everything has a breaking point. This may be the changing of the guards. Things need to change. They are aware of how things need to change. It's you, right, audience? This is how I take it, and this is why I talk about these things, and this is why we have these conversations, because it is you, the people, the community, who help facilitate these things, and we are ultimately the yay or nay, as we are the greatest fans. I can't afford to go to Comic-Con. I would love to be able to go to Comic-Con, but I can't. But I want to see exclusive trailers. Why can't I watch it online? I will tweet about it. I will have fun about it. The more you share, the more it gets shared. The more feedback you get, the more improvements you can make, as has been the slow process that has been fought against up to now. Speaking of
So you've
you,
done how bad WB did this year? Oh, never mind. I'm sorry.
no, go for it. How about
WB, I think, had the best presentation this year.
Mm-hmm.
I will go on to record in saying that I think they could have done a lot better. I think that they needed to get all of their ducks in a row before Comic-Con, and they failed. And they did not present the show as much as they could have. With Disney not having a presence with Marvel, they could have literally
made
dropped
Comic-Con-
the mic so hard
Yeah.
they would not be able to pick up the mic next year.
because it'd be Mjolnir.
Yeah. If you go onto Twitter, there's articles about how they've kind of already accidentally released who's going to be starring in the new Green Lantern movie, but they can't say that officially because
Green Lantern
contracts.
Corps?
Yeah. Contracts haven't been signed yet. So had they had that stuff taken care of beforehand, they could have had them show up at the panel when they announced the Green Lantern Corps, and then had a stronger impact, had a moment that people would have been talking about next year and the year
I
after.
mean, and this is why some people should maybe just hire us as consultants.
Absolutely.
Speaking of the power of the people, I tweeted this from the Smosh Games Alliance account. I think it's absolutely freaking amazing, and there is a lot that I have invested in from myself. I'm sure through you, to you, through you, it will ping right back to us. Bungie hired the Destiny subreddit creator, officially Chris Shannon, on board as part of their community team. They
Which is
had two.
fantastic. Yeah,
that's
That
really
is
cool.
freaking awesome. He started, and it did it for better feedback. Ultimately, he seemed to have the answers that Bungie, as a corporation, as a collection of people, he was an element that they see that they were missing. He started this subreddit in 2012, and it just grew into this thing that Bungie even started turning to for feedback on how they can improve on their platform and where they need to improve. And in that Destiny subreddit, people started finding other ways to create websites to look for groups, or even a website that shows when the next raid is going to happen, when the next world event is going to happen, and down to a time, and it's a lot of, and this is perfect in terms of thinking in terms of Comic-Con. They saw the power in the voice of the people, and in a reasonable, not even over controlled. It wasn't over controlled. It was just people expressing, I love this game, and I want it to be great, and I want it to be as great as it can be.
Well,
and where it falls short, we can pick up where it falls short, but you can also pick up as you are the holders of this greatest freaking power.
It is a mass multiplayer game.
Yes.
And so when you have games like that, it is all about the community. And Reddit is really good at building a community. And it just utilized both those aspects really well. Mm-hmm. And then you have just this perfect moment. And luckily, Bungie was smart enough to go to the source and find a good community leader to continue on.
And it's great to, because I always talk, I come from the community. I was a G4 fanboy. That's how I started. And I have a great belief in the community. But what I got out of this, and what I could not say in 140 characters or less, in Bungie doing this, this should be an amazing freaking level of inspiration because this dude did this off of a platform that already existed. He utilized his tools and saw something that was needed, so he created something that other people got on board with, and it was so efficient and so effective that he got to join the official platform and be a part of the bigger picture in doing something that he just wanted to do, that he saw was needed.
To kind of play devil's advocate to that, it is a lot easier to create a community in a platform that already exists than to start from scratch.
Well, no, of course, but that is you're absolutely correct, and that is where I wholeheartedly embrace and express utilize your tools.
Yeah.
Who would have thought Reddit was that kind of tool? No one would have thought. I'm sure he reached out. Hey guys, hey Bungie, started this thing. Maybe you'll like it, maybe you won't, but check it out. Ungawa Black Power. I don't know
that didn't even make
the
sense.
wording
That
of the
was-
email.
It was the thing, Flitz things.
But
What's saying?
it's yeah. But the point is, he did the thing. He saw.
He did the
He
damn
saw,
thing?
He saw a thing. Instead of complaining about it constantly, he created a solution. He did the thing, and now he is doing the thing on a greater freaking scale. The dude's a beacon of light, whether he realizes it or not. It's amazing.
I think
that
it's
he
also
did that.
companies being more aware of the tools around them and utilizing them, which is important.
Well, and that's
Well, now,
that-
if Comic-Con
yeah.
could utilize the tools around them, and then
Well, yeah, Comic-Con, I don't think Comic-Con doesn't have a sense of community, and this is a perk of I think video games in terms of culture. But man, that's I think guys, if you see something and you feel like it can be improved, figure out a way to improve it and do it your damn self. Who knows? You never know who will see it. You never know whose life you will touch. You'll never know ultimately where it will get you, but you have nothing to lose really unless you're investing money, which we live in a freaking in a time where damn near everything can be free. You just have to be willing to put in the work, really. But do the thing, that's awesome. Congratulations to Chris Shannon, who I'm sure will never see this video. But that's freaking awesome. Again, and speaking through the voice of the people, during E3, they announced that Shenmue 3 was going to be kickstarted because Shenmue is an amazing cult classic, kind of a single. It's a slice of life game essentially, as Japanese companies do very well with slice of life and from games, dating
I have no
sims
clue what you mean by
to slice of life like
life.
anime. It's like, this is my life as I live as a Japanese person, and then it's
Okay.
like the school shows, and it's really just an experience piece, but expressed through art, whether it's animation or games or film. It seems like an everyday thing to maybe some of them, but they're living through, as I kind of vlogging is kind of a slice of life thing. This is my life. This is my
Makes sense.
perspective. This is who I am sharing with you. Shenmue 3, the Kickstarter is done. I think they're very shocked to the point where they were so confident in the potential that they aimed for $11 million. But what they did reach, which is still damn amazing and actually puts it amongst the top, I believe the highest funded Kickstarter, they raised $5.6 million
That's awesome.
from, I don't want to make up a number, but from, I want to say 60-something thousand backers, which is amazing.
Now that is only half of what they originally wanted. Is that
Well,
enough
no,
to
it's
make-
not what they originally wanted. They actually started adding more
it
over
was- it
time.
was a
because
stretch
of
goal?
doing well.
11
Yeah,
million
that
was
was
stretch
that was their stretch goal.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
But they reached a lot of they did it. It's so kudos to the audience. Yu Suzuki, who is as big a legacy as I think damn near anyone in video games, who Virtua Fighter and a bunch of the virtual games really.
But you said it's maybe circa 60,000 backers.
Yeah.
60.
60. So, but even still, at the end of the day,
So
again,
over
to play
60,000.
devil's advocate, at the end of the day, you're creating the game that only had 60,000 backers. Now, that's at a 30% interest to that of people that wouldn't have backed, but still interested in a sequel. it's a lot of attention, but how many people is it really bringing in at the end of the day?
Well,
Maybe
you have to
80
consider.
buyers?
Most people. As many people know about Kickstarter. There are a lot of other things being funded, and not everybody knows about Kickstarter. They're just like they're going to make it back because it's audience funded. It hasn't even been touched how much funding it's going to gain because of simply this popularity. There are so many other factors. That's just, I feel like personally, that's essentially like the front end.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got to think about things like Star Citizen. It raised like $2 million on Kickstarter or Indiegogo, whatever it raised on. It's at like $80 million.
Well,
in public
they
funding
also
now.
did it the right way, where you keep going back to purchase more stuff, and it just adds to the funding.
Right. But yeah, but that's kind of what I'm saying is like they'll raise that much money that now that the project is going to happen, and then at the end of the day, it's like pre-orders and things like that.
We've been, I mean, and even with us, we've been learning about angel investors. This isn't angel investors. I mean, yes, everybody who invested in it and put their money into it because they want it so bad, yeah, they're an angel for the project. But that's a whole different thing that we haven't even touched on. Yes. Right. Oh, you got a crowd to pay $5 point something million for something, then all right, we'll put another $5 million on that. How about that? You like that? Because we believe in it so much and we think we can make money from it too.
Yeah. But again, when you look at the numbers, it's 60,000 people. You only had only 60,000 people. How many people go out and buy a video game? Only 60,000 backers.
That's for one platform. That's only, but you can't take anything away from. That is amazing that they raised that much money from even only that many
that part.
people.
Yeah, it is.
That's I think that's freaking awesome. Games, a lot of games being made. Metal Gear Rising director Kenji Saito would like to make a Kill la Kill or a Berserk video game. After someone tweeted at him, please make another type of anime game. And this is a really quick question. I'm curious, what anime would you like to see turn into a great video game? No, what?
You guys don't even know about the Guyver.
Oh, I thought you said MacGyver.
I also thought you said MacGyver.
Like, what?
I was like, why?
What?
This is a puzzle game. You start off your mission with a bunch of paper clips. It's
we just saw MacGyver last night. It was called Ant-Man.
That's funny.
Kill la Kill would be pretty cool. Trigun.
Yeah, Trigun could be fun.
I mean, Attack on Titan, but they already have that. But an official Attack on Titan game would be amazing.
Didn't you say you always wanted a VR Sword Art Online?
Oh yeah, I mean that's happening.
Yeah,
that's going to happen eventually. But yeah, but that's like Matrix style thing in the back of your neck, like real life Sword Art Online would be the best. Like I would be so excited that they're coming out with an MMO, and I'm excited for it. But
I would like to see an open world, or open universe, open world Samurai Champloo, where you can make your character and
cool.
It takes hip hop and the Edo period Japan, and you mesh them and you make your own character and explore that period through that that Champloo of cultures, or a cosmic open universe game of Cowboy Bebop, exploring the universe of Cowboy Bebop, combined with Space Dandy.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like it's an expansive universe. So
that was another one that I was going to say is Cowboy Bebop, and I completely agree. That would be amazing. It would be so cool. And you don't even have to play as the characters, but like running into Spike and everybody else, like it would just be great. Like if you were, everyone has their own ship, everyone has their own thing, but then you create your custom characters and you run into those players.
And you start your space.
Exactly.
Oh my God! See, exactly.
That is so cool. Exactly. Someone do this immediately.
Joven, you don't know much about anime.
I grew up with it. I'm not a big fan of the storytelling or the art style as I got older.
Racist. So,
not racist at all, actually.
So, last but not least, in terms of story and coverage of stories, Satoru Iwata has passed away at age 55.
So young. That is so unfortunate.
Well, the cause was bile duct growth, which translates to bile duct cancer, which is called cholangiocarcinoma, very hard to treat. But the man left in a mega legacy, amazing, a mega an amazing legacy through. He started out as a programmer, and even in transitioning from being a programmer to becoming a president of a company, to becoming president and CEO of another company, he still was not afraid to say, all right, I mean, I get it, I'm the CEO, but let me program this real quick. I'm a programmer. like he, to the point where people were like, wait, this dude's a programmer? That level of dedication to your job is not, it's a great, happy thing to see, because you don't often see the president of a company be like, that video could be better. Hey, could you move over? I'm going to edit this with you. Yeah. It's a lot of dictating on what you should do. Do this, and that's good. No, that's terrible. That's not good. It's very much so the hands-on. If you want it done right, do it yourself. He had that attitude, and he did it through play and giving us the gift of Kirby's and Super Smash Brothers and Wii and Wii U, and going in very much so. Going in with the attitude of, I'm going to get it wrong because I'm still just learning about it, and I love the idea, and I understand and respect Nintendo, and I've come to learn to respect Nintendo for this, but it's the ocean thing, and Nintendo, they're like, we're fighting a whole different fight. Yeah, okay, cool. Sony and Microsoft can bloody the ocean with their competition all they want. We'll be over here doing our own thing, having fun. So it's the play mind versus the war mind, and I am very much so a giant advocate for the play mind. And I think that's amazing, and I can't even bring myself to be angry at or hate on that, because there is a great power in self-empowerment, as they don't worry about what the heck everybody else is doing. We have our voice, and we have an understanding that we are pursuing that we will follow, and they do that continuously through handheld, through mobile. We don't know what this change will bring on, but in relation to you, how has, and I tweeted this, and instead of lamenting the death and mourning the death, let's celebrate the life. How did Satoru inspire you?
Well, I grew up on Nintendo games. We all grew up on Nintendo games, and like all those franchises are absolutely amazing. I think it's important not to dwell on the past. He lived a fantastic life, and we should thank him for all the things that he did bring to our lives. I'm very interested to see who takes his place and what happens with the Nintendo Corporation next, because there's a lot of things that Nintendo can do better, and maybe now that it's in new hands, we'll see a new direction for Nintendo, and I find that very intriguing.
Yes, yeah, big time. Yeah, how did it inspire you? You're just always
Legend of Zelda. Yeah. I can't describe more, like, just playing that and
just Nintendo in general.
It's just Nintendo in general. Like, growing up with it, I mean, I just had it. Like, it was part of my life.
So he became a part of Nintendo 15 years ago, actually. In 2000, he was officially a part of it. He'd been working with a company called HAL before and done a lot of legwork in that, but he officially became a part of Nintendo in 2000. And in 2000, you were like 1. So how has that affected you?
16 years old. Got his driver's license yesterday.
Yeah.
How has that even affected you from then, from 2000? Can you even think of?
I mean, Nintendo is just, I mean, like I said, it's just been a part of my life. I had a Nintendo console, like, in my house, or playing it when I was, like, 3 years old. And from then on, it's just like, oh, Nintendo, yeah, I definitely want to play some of that. So, I mean,
I want to get some of that.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, from GameCube, I mean, I was a Nintendo kid. I never had a PlayStation growing up. Like, I have my dad's PlayStation 2 at my house so I can play Final Fantasy. Like, but I grew up, I went, regular Nintendo, Super Nintendo, N64, GameCube. Like, the only Nintendo console that I don't own is a Wii U.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
not yet.
Yeah, no, exactly, not yet. Like
that
Smash
could
Bros,
still happen.
Smash Bros is great. I'm gonna play it at the office, but the second the new Legend of Zelda game comes out, like that's in my house, in my apartment. I'm playing through it. Like, so I mean, yeah, Nintendo was my babysitter.
Yeah, mine too. Yeah, pretty much. Well, that has been the news. We had a good conversation. We covered like a good amount of freaking leg here. Oh, look, it's 5:32 in Texas, is Zion Brown.
Fine.
Congratulations. You have time. As you know, the SGA challenge is happening right now. If you don't know what Joven is playing, that's keeping him so focused. He's playing Action Henk. The
Stuck in a
deadline is July 24th for the SGA challenge. We will be, of course, we have been watching your entries. We will continue to be watching your entries. You have until July 24th to make your video. I feel like there's a lot of creative room for this, and I have not had the time essentially to share maybe even creative ideas. If you have created a game, a live action game out of Action Henk where you and maybe another friend created an obstacle course and ran through it with headbands on. There's so much opportunity for for creativity here, as opposed to just gameplay videos. Especially, I mean, we've been going over with Smosh you with cameras and lighting and all sort of creative solutions. I look forward to seeing. GameStar can't watch the stream. I'm looking forward to seeing all of your creativity. But yeah, do your SGA challenge. Upload it to your YouTube channel.
SGA Live.
Huh?
Yeah, we've created a server. Like we have
Wait,
a
is
server.
this a server?
Yeah,
this is a server.
This is
Oh,
our
I
server.
didn't know. Wait,
yeah,
how,
we're
so
playing
to
with
compete?
people.
Oh, there's people.
Yeah, we have a ton of people.
Yeah, we've been playing with
Where
them.
have they been?
Literally this entire time,
Yeah.
we just ramble
Yeah.
on and on. We've been playing with them.
Well, have you really?
Yeah, playing with everyone.
They got a Battler in there.
Oh, yeah,
So go tell them where they can find it.
no. No, you tell them.
Hey guys, we're playing Action Henk. So if you play Action Henk right now and you go to multiplayer, you check out the servers. There is an SGA Live exclamation mark. We have a server where we're in here playing. So
Yes.
jump on in.
Come play with us.
Yeah,
There's a guy with the afro dancing.
that's actually me. So don't judge me.
Guys, when I first met Flitz, he had an afro.
I did. I had
okay, kind
giant
of, practically an afro.
It was. I just wasn't picking it out. It was all curly and crazy because I like looking crazy.
He is looking crazy.
One of the things I want to talk about before I give like a bunch of really fast shout-outs to like Anna Powell and like Abby Taylor and Miggle Games. I don't even know what that means. Quintire Maybay, Laura Ellis. The Melon Duck, man, you should put some capitals in there so I can separate your words. Joe Wild Thing, Aaron Parr.
I'm actually so proud
really
that
funny.
the names that you're listing right now don't have numbers behind them. If you come up with a screen name and have numbers, I'm just like, oh, come on. You could have been
Yeah,
more
that's what I was
creative.
just saying
Someone
earlier.
else thought of it.
So Ray's is always
I'm making one of my
here.
skull night.
Oh.
Being such a, the mashup man. I don't even know what that means. One of the things I want to talk about is, I mean,
Mine has a number.
as I move on
paranormal
forward, one of the things I want to talk about, and God of War 3 remastered just came out. There's a bunch of remastered games coming out. Final Fantasy VII being
Yeah,
announced.
Mass
my
Effect
God.
Remastered isn't.
Mass Effect
Final Fantasy
Remastered.
Remastered will never come out.
Shenmue
It'll be
getting
4 years before it
I mean,
comes out.
Shenmue 3 being
that out
Shenmue
in the
3,
world.
but I'm sure the story already being done had been done as it had been planned to be a continuous series, but it got funded by the audience. I am wondering, and this is a genuine concern question: is nostalgia, are our memories given too much power, and in turn, getting in the way of true creativity?
Yes and no. Giving away true creativity, absolutely not. I think that we are a nostalgia audience. It's the people that grew up that were born in the 80s and grew up in the 90s. We run the internet right now, and we want to relive these great memories, but on a much larger scale. The technological advances we've had in the last 10 years have been fantastic. We're in you would agree, a technological boom.
It's a boom, yeah.
And
we're riding a wave of exponential growth
And
on our technology.
and now, so we want to relive these great things of our youth on a much better platform that we didn't have access to. But at the same time, that should not get in the way of new creativity.
Right.
Like in Hollywood, it was about reboots and sequels and people not trying to be creative because, let's face it, the audience didn't want it. In video games, it's not the same thing. We can create new games that people will
twist
buy
them.
and want, but at the same time, hey, I want to play Mass Effect 2 on the Xbox One, so give me my remastered collection. I will play the next Mass Effect and other unique and new games, but I want Mass Effect.
I think there's a lot of distraction in terms of the potential. A lot of people, there's this whole saying, some things are best left memories, and I do not believe that the industry understands, or they don't know what is best left memory. until they try to do it again. And sometimes they miss the wave. I'm really hoping this Final Fantasy VII game is going to be great, but it needs to be a new Final Fantasy VII game.
No, I think that's the opposite.
No,
I think that Final Fantasy, if you took Final Fantasy VII and released it today, as other Final Fantasy games have now become, there's a reason why Final Fantasy games aren't as successful as Final Fantasy VII was.
No. The story will be the same. The way the story is being told, because we get a lot of remakes and remasters, and all it is just an upgrade of skin.
Yeah, I want to play
It's
Final
not an
Fantasy, and I
upgrade of
think
story.
thousands of people agree. I just want to play the same game again, but I want it to play better and look better.
they're not doing that for the Final Fantasy. They've already come out and said that it's going to be changed. I'm pretty sure that they're going to be using the new combat system, so it's not going to be turn-based more than likely.
I'm okay with it.
I like.
Japanese RPGs have struggled, and the traditional Japanese RPG, which Final Fantasy VII is, as much as we love it in our nostalgia, the audience who did not get to experience that, who are crafted for this era, for a new way of storytelling, they wouldn't get it.
Yeah,
and they wouldn't be able to embrace it as the greatest nostalgia.
I'm sad to hear that, but really this just comes to my preference in gaming. I love turn-based strategy games or turn-based RPG games.
Yes.
That's because we grew up with them.
Well, yes, and even still now, like I prefer turn-based tabletop games versus some card games.
And I think that has a good amount to do with. I mean, you think about how when some of us started playing video games, it was with a controller with a D-pad and 2 buttons. Then there was a start and select that you didn't really have to worry about unless you used them. Our attention span has been broadened so much that people can't look at a game of chess. We're learning to forget, or we're changing our aspects of how we focus and absorb information while we move through and come up with solutions for the information that's being thrown at us. Chess is a game that a lot of people, even nowadays, they look at it and they're like, this is so boring. I could be doing like 90 other things at the same time.
Each thing moves differently? Come on.
As that's how we seem to be turning into people. We're very much so, as bad as we are at it, we seem to be striving to be multitaskers. And it is a good and bad thing, because it shows how powerful we have become mentally, but it also shows how distracted we have become mentally.
Yeah, if Wes's information is correct, which I'm not doubting it whatsoever, and it's not going to be a turn-based RPG game, I really have no want to go back to that world.
They haven't come out and said that it's going to be the new gameplay style, but they've said that it's not going to be the same game. Like they're going to keep, I'm sure, the core story, but they're going to be
I feel like that's where it was planned on, where it was going. I could play either way, honestly. I'm looking forward to the world being upgraded, and I'm looking forward to the story being retold in another way through higher resolution and new technologies.
If I might be in the minority.
Well, this is also how I see it, and this is why I posed this question: is nostalgia too powerful? Because we function the way we function mentally, a lot of times it's we function in the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, and didn'ts, and because of that we tend to beat ourselves up for it. We also function in future tense based on what we've experienced, and because if it is not the way we experienced it, because it does not make me feel the way it made me feel, it must not be good. And in turn with that, I'm looking forward to it. When it is not what your memory was, you cannot learn to appreciate it for what it is. You can only perceive it for what you expect it to be.
You used a lot of words.
There were a lot of words there.
I think to boil down what you just said, it seems like a new like if you try to release an old game like Final Fantasy VII that hits the nostalgia audience, there is still a giant new audience that doesn't play games the same way.
They will not. They
so
will
it's
miss
not that
it.
it's not that the old game is bad. It's not that the new game is bad. It's just I'm part of that nostalgia audience, and I want to experience exactly what I experienced, just on a better platform.
Yeah.
And if I'm not going to experience the same thing,
that's fun to me, as I just love thinking about how brains work. And there's nothing to me that says that's a bad thing. Like, yes, that's a very good thing, because I can totally relate to that. I think it's a matter of knowing that is what you're doing. Because a lot of people do it without, this game sucks, it's stupid, it's not good. It's
Well, yeah.
nothing like
The internet
X,
is
Y,
a very
and Z.
negative
It's not,
place.
yeah.
Like, I didn't like the movie Ant-Man yesterday, but I was the first one to say, no, this movie wasn't bad. I just didn't like it.
Yeah, it just was not what. But and there's a lot of people who say it's good. So it's a fun.
What? Everyone on the
fun
internet has opinions?
Yeah, exactly.
That is strange.
Well, and it's coming down to that, and it's coming down. I think it ultimately comes down to that. The nostalgia is great. I'm looking forward to playing God of War 3, and this is where this is where I ask. Is nostalgia given too much power? Yeah. So if you are just feeding an experience again with a higher resolution, with upgraded technology, which is being done constantly, but they are still charging full price for those same memories just reskinned, as opposed to these new, new imagination creating games that I believe personally deserve the full price of as it is creating a new memory in me personally. A new set of memories.
The thing about like especially Final Fantasy VII is it's like, yes, it does have that nostalgia for all of us, but if you go back and actually play Final Fantasy VII, like staring at those graphics, especially on like an HD television, it hurts your eyes.
That's a whole nother
like it's like, oh god, these pixels, everything's stretched. It doesn't look great. And I bought it on Steam and I played through it on Steam and it was great. But it was like the box window. Like, they didn't stretch out to my full screen. But at the same time, it's like Square Enix finally started liking money. Like, they
took them a while.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, and they even said, it's like, the second you can't put a Final Fantasy VII disc in your PlayStation console and play it, we're remaking it. PS4, I mean, technically the PS3 as well, but the PS4 is the first console that you cannot put a PS1 disc and play it. The original PlayStation 3 console, you could actually play PlayStation 1 disc, but it was like $700-something. The PS4 now is out, and they're making a PS4 version of Final Fantasy VII. So they're actually staying to their word.
But I think what's interesting to look at is games like, so Final Fantasy VII is obviously an outdated game.
Right.
Whereas God of War, and even Tomb Raider has like a remastered collection. I don't know as much. Did we need that? Maybe it hits a new audience. Like Mass
Tomb Raider?
Effect, if you play Mass Effect 1, the story is great, everything's fantastic, but it came out in 2006, and so the mechanics of the game just aren't as good as today's standards, but everything else about the game is.
Yes.
So that's something that I believe deserves a redo. Whereas the God of War games, if I went back and played God of War 1...
It's just like the rest of the God of Wars?
Yeah, it's just as good. It looks just as good now.
It's just,
nothing about it is broken. In fact, like, there's so many other games that's taken the God of War combat system and copied it.
Now I'm going to throw this out there to you guys, and this is going to sound a little weird, but imagine in the flyover states where people are having kids. The kids are they're having kids at like 18, 19, 20.
Yeah.
They grew up in our generation. Those kids are like 9, 10, 11, 12 years old already.
And should not be playing God of War? You're
well,
right.
no, but I'm talking like Final Fantasy VII and like Tomb Raider and all these games that we played when we were that age. Like, your family's going to be like, or your parents are going to be like, I played this game,
and you get to experience.
You need to play it.
Yeah.
That's that nostalgia audience.
Yeah,
exactly, but then
audience.
it's going to be nostalgic for those kids too.
Yes.
It's like the kid might not necessarily go out and buy it themselves, but the parents are going to be like, "Oh, you definitely need to play these. These are great games."
As long as they, and I mean, I function very much so on like, as long as you, it gets to the point where it becomes that slippery slope of tradition I hate so much, where people follow traditions just for the sake of following traditions without asking questions. Even in us having why did I like this game? Why did I love it so much? Why do I feel it's so important for someone else to experience it?
I don't think it's important for anyone new to experience Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy VII was great because of the time that it came out in. If you look at the story now, when we did the Honest trailer on Smosh Games for Final Fantasy VII, we look back at the story. Story is stupid. It's dumb. It is dumb. It doesn't make sense. The ending, it's like everything that you're doing leading up to the ending doesn't matter, because then the Earth guy is like, oh no guys, you don't have to fight for me. I can solve the problem myself. It's like, oh, okay, cool. So it's very it's a very whack story. It's a very whack story.
Yes, it's just whack. The story's
And like,
whack,
for example,
son.
Eris dying, Like, it was big at the time because how often do you lose the main character?
right.
But if you look back at
Yeah.
it, there was no real development with the character Eris.
Well, and that's why it's exciting and that's why I get into remakes, and I want to wrap this up because I want to get to questions from you guys. But that's why it's exciting. That's why I get to remakes, because now we have new ways to tell stories, and that's why I'm not okay with the just reskinning. Especially this game has had time, so this is a different story. But if you were to just reskin it versus taking the power we have now and the different aspects of media we have now, and you remold it and you retell a story and the beautiful potential it had and now has, you're creating new memories from a previously existing platform and re-upgrading its nostalgia factor.
Yeah. No, for sure. Now, I want you to think about this. Like, if you look back and look at what Final Fantasy VII looked like back in the day.
It just looked like
people
rocks.
still made connections to those characters.
Yeah,
when
so
they didn't look real.
you do it now.
Imagine it now.
That would be my fastest time when I finished. Sorry.
Yeah, no, but think of it now with the new reskins. They're going to have voice actors. They're going. Everything is going to look realistic. All of those feels that you had from the original Final Fantasy game.
Final Family games.
Yeah, it's going to be.
But
ridiculous.
they're having all the Advent Children designs, right?
I'm okay
I don't
with
know
that.
if they're doing the Advent Children designs.
I hope not. I don't like most of the Advent Children designs.
I mean, they changed the costumes up and all that sort of stuff, but I mean, they're going to be going back to the original costumes, all that sort of thing, and everything is going to look so realistic. When that scene comes up with Sephiroth and Eris, it's just going to hit you that much harder.
I hope she.
Or will it?
bleeds.
Will it though? Because we now know the twist. We know that she dies.
But yes, and it's
Well,
don't
may not know.
Don't level up Eris. It's still going to be a thing. But you don't know what point in the game it's going to happen now. Like,
We also don't know what they're going to do.
exactly.
We
They're
can't
going to change
predict.
stuff.
What if they kill Tifa? Oh my god, if they kill Tifa, I will revolt just to have something different.
But then she's reborn as Queen Latifah, and it's a whole big amazing thing, and she's more powerful. And she has a rap career and owns a bar, and it's going to be
Also
amazing.
Queen of the Damned.
She is also Queen of the Damned. So earlier in the week, we tweeted out, we put it on Facebook for you, audience, to send us your questions, and we will read as many as we can online. I know you have a lot of questions in the chat, and I am reading the chat, but I mean, we do have people who sent questions in like a week ago, even a half a week ago,
So much
and
to
they
get
do
to.
have some sort of priority. So if you're not following us on Facebook or on Twitter,
Probably should.
you want that priority. I mean, hey, there's preventative and there's reactive. If you want to prevent your question from not being seen, maybe follow us on Twitter and Facebook and keep up to date when we tweet and tell you to get the word out. So without further ado, this question comes from Kyle Donaldson, and I don't really know how to answer this question, but I feel like it'll be a fun question for Joven.
I'm into fun
Honestly,
questions.
I'm sure Kyle Donaldson's talking about curse words. How important is it to bleep out curse words in your videos?
If you would like my honest opinion,
What is your honest opinion? I'm very
probably
curious.
strays from other people's on the channel. We don't have to.
No,
We're
that's my opinion.
Yeah, we don't have to. We are being ourselves. We are not excessive cursors. What are you doing? Mind now.
Balancing.
Tray on
Replay.
head. Tray on head.
Curse words are not necessary in everyday language, but it is a big part of how I speak. Sometimes it helps me emphasize, and that's just how language works. I prefer bleeps in videos because I think that they are more comical. I think they are funnier to bleep out, and also when it comes to marketing. If you're dropping F-bombs every 30 seconds, it's going to be harder for you to make McDonald's want to sponsor you because they know that if you watch this video, you're going to hear the F.
Just all of you going out for McDonald's
Yeah.
sponsorships.
I really want a fish fillet right now. That's actually why I thought of that. But honestly, there's two reasons to bleep something out. Okay, there's three reasons, but only two that I care about. One, because it makes you more brand friendly, slightly more. And two, I think a beep sound is funnier.
I know. Another thing to add to this is a lot of our audience is pretty young. If I'm a parent and I'm walking into the room and my 8 or 9-year-old is hearing a bunch of people cuss and not bleeps, I'm going to be like, okay, you're not watching that anymore.
Yeah, that's true. I also, one day I will have children and I am terrified of that day because there's just too much on the internet. There's too much. It's
Yeah.
and so easily accessible. Even if we did cuss every 10 seconds, we are still not the worst thing they could easily find on the internet.
That's super
a very
true.
good point.
Well, see, and I even on my YouTube channel, my whole philosophy on words, and it comes back again, like it comes back around to the whole, it is that way because I said so, or it's just how it's always been, which is the dumbest response to me. People are offended by words. They don't even know the origin of the word or why it's offensive. They just know that it's a word that they should be offended by. And people, and traveling, once you travel the world, there's people that are going to may curse you out if you piss them off in other languages. But guess what? If you don't understand what they're saying, is it offensive? No, it's not offensive. You can't. Yeah, but exactly.
I'm offended by your tone.
Exactly, and that is the farthest extension of self verbally that you're gonna get from somebody. And you can say anything in any tone, and it can be offensive. You boy, you smart bastard. I hope you have a good life. You nice person.
Now I'm just offended by you. Stop being nice to me, man. I don't want you to be nice to me.
Exactly. So that is why it's not important. It is relatively important. It is only important because the whole social bubble that we exist in believes it's important and gives word power to those words that are literally just words and don't actually.
Well, yeah, but
truly hold
they've always been the case. But I think curse words are used as an emphasis, as I mentioned. And so there's like an 8-year-old shouldn't use these curse words to emphasize something because
they're not magic spells. That's what an 8-year-old. I say farf.
They could be.
I say farf. I say farf.
Yeah.
I say dag nabbit. All of those can, in 1,000 years, be curse words, and somebody could be like, my child will not say dag nabbit. I'll tell you that. Why? It's a bad word.
well, because I think it's a form of negativity and hate, and that's why. So like if an 8-year-old was like just drop the F-bomb, and it's too much hate that child shouldn't be utilizing at that time.
But what do we know what the F-bomb actually means?
It doesn't matter.
It means
doesn't matter what the word is. That is the
then
vessel
then we
for
should
their
just
hate.
not talk. Ultimately, when you think about it,
There's a lot of people I'd like to say that to.
there's honestly, because you can, that's literally just a word. We know that the F-bomb means fornication, to have sex. What is so hateful about having sex? We know
not
the S word means feces, to poop. Yes, that is a natural thing that we
But
all
again,
do.
it's not about the origin of the word. It is the emphasis of the word that is used as a vessel for an emotion. And a child or a young adult shouldn't need to
what is sad,
utilize that much.
Even what is sad is how much power we put behind the hate. When, if you look into the research, it has been known for a little bit now that if you stub your toe and you wind up screaming the F word, it actually takes the pain off of your toe and helps you move through that feeling better. So the hateful tone.
Okay, but those are two completely different examples.
No.
Utilizing expression of because you got hurt and it helps you deal with the pain is one thing. But if you're mad at someone and you do not know how to express your words well enough, except to use a curse word, and that helps you emphasize the negative emotion that you're feeling towards them, those are two different things.
Yes, but we cannot ignore, as we do very often, we cannot ignore the healing qualities of the thing because of the danger, which is a great illusion.
Venting is important, yes, but again, telling someone, hey, F you, that's not venting.
Well,
that's expressing negative energy.
But that's different from just using it. That's the thing. You shouldn't. I shouldn't call. You shouldn't.
Also,
you're saying generally what you shouldn't call anyone a jerk. You shouldn't call anybody stupid.
Yes.
Stupid is more damaging than an F-bomb.
Yeah, well, I do agree. But here's the thing: we are adults and we know the difference between these words. Children do not.
I'm not differentiating between adult and child.
Well, but I am.
Because
I'm saying we are smart enough to understand the difference and the importance behind
and as individuals develop at different phases, Samuel L. Jackson, who was reading by the time he was 2, that comes down to the individual person, essentially. So it comes down to, honestly, how much power we choose to put behind these words. And I do not believe that we will find great freedom through this.
I'm going to stop using words. I'm just going to hug you.
You're just going to hit us.
What do these words say?
Those words say love. And also, the F-bomb can be used in terms of love and desire. That is a whole nother different thing. That is why it becomes different, and that is why it becomes tricky.
Just how you
oh
utilize
man,
words.
I want to fornicate you so bad. You can even say that, and I planted the F-bomb in your head, and ultimately, that is a curse word. It's a slippery slope in terms of control.
No, I'm putting a curse on you.
It's not, but they're not magic spells. That is why we're distracted as beings.
So I bleep out words in videos because it's better for marketing and it's funnier.
That's fair. With all the people. Oh wait. I like this question. This is from the official Blotch. BLOTSH. Officially.
Officially from them.
With all the people who are doing YouTube, how can we be outstanding from the crowd without self-promo or on another channel? I feel like we've answered this a few times.
I've answered the question here.
Yeah, it's a time and patience thing, and exploration of self, and ultimately figuring it out. Appreciation, your audience finding you, being clear with your intent, being great with your will, and it will shine through in ways that you may not even realize. I still, in having my own YouTube channel, as it has a good amount of subscribers, as I continue to be scattered in my intention, I've still never had a personally giant YouTube channel. But I've had several YouTube channels, and they've been big enough for me to be thankful that I had these channels, because in having those channels, it has gotten me this far, where I'm a part of a giant family, a part of a giant YouTube channel, where we can grow and expand this way. So I think ultimately what you may need is a point of focus. Don't be distracted by what everybody else is doing. Do what you love, and ultimately, through your intent, aim for your ultimate goal, and you will find yourself on a path reaching your ultimate goal that you may not have even realized. You're not doing your YouTube channel for nothing. This is your university. This is your college. This is your practice. When you go to college, you go to a bunch of lectures, and then they say, okay, now read this book, and now do your homework, where you do it your damn self. And then you do it, and the only thing that you have on you, really, in terms of the professor, is time. A time constraint, a schedule you have to keep. That is much more empowering when you can keep your own schedule and empower yourself, because you learn your own work ethic, and you learn how to get yourself to where you need to be efficiently and effectively at your own pace.
Yeah, what he said, but in less words. I've said on the channel before, don't make a YouTube channel to try to be successful or famous. If you have 100 people watching those videos, you don't know who those 100 people are. If anything, it's just practice for the future, like Flitz was saying. Or I had a friend that launched a new channel this last year and a half, and I told her, yeah, just do it so that you can find a job somewhere else. Doesn't matter how many people are watching it. You're going to do it. They're going to like what you did. Doesn't matter how many views it was.
But if you don't find a job somewhere else, you'll continue to grow doing what you're doing.
It fine-tunes the tools.
You'll eventually ultimately find a job in doing what you're doing, or find a job somewhere else doing something else that you didn't even thought you could apply yourself.
Look at the Destiny guy we were talking about earlier.
Yeah. Yep.
You think he was doing it because he wanted to be famous or get a job?
Nope,
No,
he did it because he saw that there was something great there.
Well, the thing about it is, and this is something I tell people, it's like, do not make videos because you want to be popular. Do not make videos because you want to be famous. Do not make videos because you want to make money on them. Do it because you enjoy doing it.
Yes.
If you do not enjoy making the videos that you're making, it's going to come off as it's very not genuine. Fake and not genuine. Fake. The reason I think that people enjoy watching us and that sort of stuff is because these are our genuine reactions.
This is literally who we are.
Like, yeah, exactly.
It might be amped up a little bit
when
because
Joven Rage is happening, or when Lasercorn is murdering people in Minecraft. It's like genuine stuff that's happening to us. Like, we're all friends, and this is how we all acted at LAN parties and things like that in games. Like, when I was playing Halo, with 4 consoles set up and 16 people in my basement, we were yelling at each other and throwing empty bottles of Mountain Dew or whatever the heck we were drinking back then.
It's really at the point where it's like, man, no one was recording that. When Mari chipped her tooth. We were like, oh, no one was recording that. Damn it! Like stuff happens, and we're like, there's not a camera on all the time. There's gold. There's gold in the friendship. So
for sure.
Do it. Be you. Be who you want to present. Do your damnedest, and it'll shine through ultimately in the end. Quick question before we, or a couple of quick questions. This question comes from Comil. Oh no, that's for Courtney.
Yeah.
Courtney's not even here. Why'd you send that?
What's the question? We'll answer it for her.
Well, we could answer it for her.
We'll answer it for her.
This question's for Courtney, who is not here, so we will answer this question for Courtney. And it
covered.
comes from Storm Thomas, who I'm assuming maybe has a little crush.
Okay.
Storm Thomas wants to know, Courtney, why are you so beautiful?
That is a good question.
It's a good question. Like,
Good parents. Good genetics.
Yeah, that's
John
actually from
Sohinki said, wait, I
Joven's-
said that?
Yeah,
Good genetics. That's why
She does have good genetics.
Yeah.
I have not seen. She's happy.
Yeah.
She's like great energy. She's a go-getter as well. She's
have you ever seen a
she's actually a
beautiful, angry
freaking
person?
great example of do the damn thing. Because Matt Robb, who we call the Smosh Father, even in private, he talks about how great her attitude is and how she comes up with so many ideas that are working and that are being done thanks to Joe, who is the other Smosh Father.
You can't just keep giving that title away.
No, we can because they're gay together. It's great.
Okay.
I hope he was watching that.
Who is the other
We
Smosh
watched
Father? Through patriarchy, we find a great matriarchy. It's really weird. But he helps facilitate. He's like, oh, that's an idea. Let's pitch it. Let's do it. Let's have fun. And on Vine with the Smosh this and us doing different Vine things, and on Instagram with the ideas that are shared across the board, it shines through physically. It reflects on which you see the good energy that she gives and the positive vibe that she gives. This is amazing. This is also how your sex life looks.
Damn it!
But that's why, yeah, back and forth, just the pendulum swinging,
and nothing happening
but screaming. This question comes from Walter Perez. And Walter Perez wants to know, if you could create your own game, where would it take place? And I'm going to leave this as open as possible because I like my answer and I like the way it's happening in my head.
Okay, I just want Sword Art Online to be a real thing.
Yeah? That's where it was?
Yeah, that's like
The world of sword art.
Well, right. It's like, think about it. It's like whoever has the most skill wins.
Yeah.
It's like,
So are you saying, like, in your Sword Art Online experience, when you lose your MMO character, they're dead?
I kind of feel like, yeah. Like, there's...
That's so mean. You're going to have to trust so much in humanity.
Well, either that or you don't. It's like... It's a real thing. Like it's a game version of humanity. It's like you've got your really evil people, and then you've got your really good people. You've got your like people that are like, I don't really trust you, but okay. And then you've got the other people that are just like, I'm gonna do my own thing. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay away from you. You're gonna stay away from me. I'm gonna be myself. And it's a really cool, like, if you haven't watched Sword Art Online, watch it, because it's like you really see the communities. It's like they get stuck in this game, and there are some people who are just like, I'm not fighting.
Yeah. I'm not fighting. I'm just gonna cook.
Yeah, no,
I'm gonna cook for you guys.
And that was the thing. It was
Yeah.
like, they actually had like cooking in the game. And what is And then you've got you've got the player killers. It's like the worst of the worst. The
PKers. They still are the worst. It makes me want to play Lineage.
The red players, and it's like in Sword Art Online, it's like if you died in the game, you died in real life, and that.
Jay Taylor says SAO sucks, and you should die in fire. So that's what Jay Taylor says.
SAO does suck.
Oh,
yeah,
Jonas says SAO
I've never
sucks.
seen an episode, but I have an opinion. I'm on the internet, so you have to hear it. What?
No, that would be great. See, mine would probably be a giant puzzle game. And this is because this is how I function, and it's fun for me. So I feel like because this is how I function, I feel like it would be an amazing nebulous puzzle game where you exist in a mind or the mind, and it is your job to unravel the mind. As complex as it is.
So pretty
in
much
order to-
step into Flitz's mind and good luck!
Essentially, it's a long game. It's a long game. It may take a few billion years.
There actually
to
is
complete.
this. It's called a sanity test.
Yes.
Take a step into one of our minds and see if you can make it out alive.
See if you can make it out with reason
Yeah.
and logic and with everything in its right place.
Like, if I made that game and somebody stepped into my mind, they'd just come out with a hankering for cookies and cake.
Where will the mind take you?
Yeah,
Who
exactly.
knows? And there's so many endings.
Yeah.
Because the mind is like it imagines.
Mine
things
is
which
also a terrible
to
thing
the
to
mind
waste.
are real. Yes. Well, it's a very difficult thing to waste in this day and time. And if you waste it, it's probably
it's not
your
difficult.
fault.
Too much weed.
I don't think so. They wouldn't make it legal. Too much alcohol, maybe.
That definitely matters.
That's a different debate for a different time.
Because he loves drinking. He's like,
I do not love drinking.
You do so. You're gonna go home and drink tonight.
Absolutely not.
You're gonna go out and drink tonight.
Nope. In fact, I don't feel comfortable you stating that or assuming that on live streaming. Though I will say that I'm Irish.
The cakes and the eatings. Man. Well, before we move on to the next section, whatever I decide it may be, challenge reminder. There's so much. We've been actually we've been doing really good in terms of these topics. SGA Challenge is happening right now. It is done July 24th. It is Action Henk. Be creative. Maybe set up a camera and race your friends through an obstacle course that is Action Henk-esque. Maybe shrink yourself down a la Ant-Man, who is not a sponsor. But we did just see it. And run through your room, and maybe you have to dodge, I don't know, colostomy bags and tampons. You know, creativity. You explore the
I
potentials.
think there's a
and
difference
you
between
explore.
creativity and randomness. Or is there? Maybe there isn't.
There isn't.
No, that's
It's a part of. It's all a part of the same thing. They are not mutually exclusive. They're just the same thing at different extremes.
Yes and no.
I want you to think about it like
It
this.
can't be yes and no. I just said yes and no. If they're the
So I
same
agree
thing at
with you,
different
yes and no.
extremes, then they. Oh yeah, you do. You agree.
I want you to think about creativity like this. It's 100 years ago, 50 years ago, people were writing about technologies that we actually have today.
And it seems it seems so random.
Well, no, but the thing you got to think about it is, it's like, did people create it because it's a good idea, or did they go, I really think that's a good idea, and then they researched how to make it possible?
That is among the paradox.
I just love human creativity like
Yeah.
that. It's like we can create things in our minds and just be like, this is really cool, and somebody drew it out and just put it in a show like Star Trek.
Yeah.
It's like they have like the communicators, and someone was like, I want that.
And
Let's
then we
figure
have
out
flip
how to
phones,
make it.
and we wound up having flip phones, which
Yeah.
the community. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, now we have railguns, which is amazing. Who is calling me from Massachusetts?
Can I answer it? Let me answer it. Let me answer it.
Answer it?
Yeah.
I don't know who it is.
That doesn't matter.
All right, you want to put it on speaker?
Sure.
It's like,
Hello?
someone has died.
Hi, Mr. Bedner.
Who?
I'm looking to speak with the homeowner, please.
Well, it's a cell phone, so homeowners are kind of an extreme these days.
Are you a homeowner, Extreme?
Well, I am a homeowner and extreme.
Alrighty then. I'm contacting homeowners, sir, just as a courtesy to let you know about this solar program that would allow you to go solar with nothing out of your pocket. The state would fund it if you're home qualified.
Hi, I don't actually own a home, but I do think you're doing a great thing. And power to solar power, I wouldn't be able to do with the upkeep and the cleaning of the solar panels and stuff like that right now. But thanks for the consideration.
Alrighty, thank you.
Cheers.
Solar power is an amazing thing. I am 100% for it, and I hope we see a lot more of it in the future.
I agree.
Yeah, I actually just ordered more solar lights because I have
you.
solar lights in my backyard. They're like
you.
solar
Right?
Christmas lights. Yeah, I'm gonna just wrap them around my tree. And it's fun to. I don't have to do anything. I just
We're running out of ways to find energy. Why aren't we using the sun more? I keep seeing articles about how cities get powered by their solar and wind energy.
Yeah.
We're doing more of it.
and then there's geothermal, but that's a whole different freaking Oh man, yay, smart people.
Have you guys seen the Solar Roads?
I've seen the video. Yeah,
Freaking cool. And the
Rainbow
US is
Road.
just like, no.
Rainbow
we don't
Road.
not
wanna do
yet.
that.
It was because money.
No, yeah, because
that's
other
a
people
whole
can be rich
different-
off of other things, but no one wants to update.
Well,
Old Hollywood, new Hollywood.
In moving on to the next section, we got like 15, 30, we got minutes left. I want to talk about the understanding and applications of video games as influence. I think we all do this, and I also, I mean, I mentioned it before, I think, and I just I call it video games as tools, utilize your tools. But the influence of video games and how we may actually, aiming for our ultimate, like,
You hit the wall.
Goal.
You hit the wall. You failed.
I know.
are you still failing?
He jumped over the wall and now he's stuck.
Oh,
I
that's
can walk through it
broken.
that
Oh,
way.
there you go.
But-
How
like
do
that.
you,
That's my goal.
in everything that you learn when you're playing video games, have you even thought to think about how you apply your skills that you get from video games, or even whether it's the way stories are told and you find yourself telling stories in that way? How do you apply what you get from video games?
I think
real life?
that there are strong stems. I don't know why I use the word stems.
That's okay.
There are things that influence, I think, everyday life from video games, like hand-eye coordination
Hand-eye
or
coordination?
problem solving. But I don't feel like video games really do influence day-to-day life.
Yeah?
Yeah, like if I'm gonna run around in GTA and steal cars and shoot
Well,
people
that's
up,
one game.
I'm not gonna do that.
That's an
Alright.
extreme game. That's also
Let's look at a Tetris. Oh, okay, let's be honest. Tetris, I can pack a
Yeah,
car with luggage
that's a
like
good
there is
example.
no tomorrow.
Yeah, I think of Tetris all the time as well. Yeah, totally. It's the same thing. Hey Matt, how's it going? You just turned.
I don't know if it really affects anything. Like I'm not going out and stunt driving because I'm playing Forza. or Need
Well,
for Speed.
okay, think about it this way, because it's not because of, it's the application of, because you do this, how to apply.
So yeah, in that
strategy
case,
as
when you RTS, you have to be able to multitask and pay
Yes.
attention to a lot of
Yes,
things.
exactly.
And practice does make perfect. So
and
there's
you
elements
like
that.
turn-based strategies.
Yeah,
So-
because
and
I
as
love to
you-
look at a situation and break it down on what's going to work, what's not going to work, and each step of the way adapt.
Yes. So that's what I mean in terms of like the application of video games, and even like real-time strategy is a great example, because that can be applied on so many different levels that I don't play enough real-time strategy games to know. But if you think about that in terms of how the old games Risk, how old War worked in the olden days, and how it was a map and you move your pieces, and then you have someone come back and they say this person is moving this, and you move their piece and you strategize. Now we can do this in the blink of an eye and strategize, essentially be prepared for damn near any situation. And that's the war application of it. I want to explore the play application.
There's a lot of what do you mean by play application?
The play I mean, in terms of reflex, and active reflex, and seeing potential. And maybe some people will be running one day and they're like, oh, I see this thing. And I slid under it because I understood what I was coming up to and how I could get past this in the fastest, most efficient way possible, because I was playing Mirror's Edge and Faith did this and this and this, and I did it in Mirror's Edge, and it just made sense to me, and it clicked, and all of a sudden now I can apply it and I can practice it and apply
I
it.
think there's been studies on it, and like growing up, I played a lot of video games. I don't think my reflexes are any better in real life versus a video game. I think there's stuff that really doesn't translate. I'm not finding myself running from building to building and sliding under things.
But
and
that's not you.
shooting people with guns.
I will say that
Or it
because
is.
I loved Mirror's Edge and stuff like that, I wanted to try and learn parkour in real life. And I will say video games can inspire you to want to learn or want to try something. But I don't think, like we said before, I don't think that video games,
It won't
video
make you
games are
better
evil.
at something.
I
But-
disagree.
Oh no, my hand-eye coordination is great. Like,
But do you? So the reason why it's about conscious function. Right now, you're just playing the game. You're not thinking about playing the game to maybe apply this, and maybe it would not apply to. Though I'm sure if you needed it to, it could apply to some aspect of your life. But playing There's in arcades growing up. There was a police shooter. It's a police shoot trainer actually, essentially in arcade. And do you know this game? The balls pop up, and then you go boom, 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 and you're right. That is a video game that is now you can apply that skill set to your career, and if you consciously play it. And you think, how can I apply this to real life? And you start to exercise that way, even when you're not playing it, as opposed you start to utilize it as a tool, you start to apply it as real life, and it becomes an influence in terms of development.
Now, I will say, my family is very anti-weapon, anti-gun, all that sort of stuff.
Really?
But I
would have never guessed.
No, that's I'm the odd one out in my family. But playing video games, like shooters, I loved GoldenEye, I loved all those kind of games. And then eventually they were like, all right, fine, you can go shooting for real. And and this is not to toot my own horn or anything, but I was really good. People were like actually.
But did that come from video games, or did you just have really good hand-eye coordination?
You don't just talent comes from preparedness and training. No one is just talented. There are certain things that we do that become innate, and we're pulling from those.
That's not true.
sources
There's
without even
geniuses. You have child prodigies, and geniuses have a natural ability to be able to comprehend something
that still
without practice.
That still comes through training. That still comes through some sort of training.
You
and
can get
affinity
better
for
with practice.
It happens at different rates, and everyone gets better at practice. But you get even better.
A video game doesn't help you aim and shoot. Like a video game application for at least shooting, I don't think is one-to-one at all.
You're thinking, but you're still.
It's definitely not one-to-one, but like playing video games and playing with Nerf guns and like that sort of stuff, like. If you take somebody who has never seen a movie with a gun in it, and has never played a video game with a gun in it, and doesn't really know what a gun is, like versus somebody who's been playing with it the whole life, like you think about it like this: like you reload in a video game, you now pretty much know how to reload a gun in real life.
You've seen it.
Yeah, exactly. You've seen it happen. Like
you
it's
have
obviously
some understanding of it.
So like I went skeet shooting for my first time, and I hit like 15 or 16 out of 25. Now for somebody who's been doing that for a long time, it's like okay, that 15 or 16 is not impressive, but for a first-time person who's never picked up a gun in their life, like a real gun in their life, like
I don't know. I think
was really good.
I don't know. I think that you can pick up any video game and just naturally be good at it without ever playing it before. I think that some people are just naturally good at things, and real life or video game application to real life, it's there. You're a little more conscious of it, but I don't think it actually helps.
I would actually say it definitely.
At least when it comes to physical things, I don't think it helps at all.
Well, you have to exercise. That's the mental aspect. This is mental.
Yeah.
You're not doing it. The physical aspect is where you have to practice.
Like,
and
I can
apply
play
what you
all of
have
NBA
mentally.
Jam, but I can't slam dunk for anything, and that's not going to help me be able to dunk.
But NBA Jam is a great extreme. You would not apply. I mean, maybe you would. I don't know. You can. There are people who you look at N1 players like that can be inspired by NBA. He passed the ball behind his back and then through his legs, and then he shot it. And I saw how confused the player. I figured I'd try it in real life. Then you have to apply it physically. This is the mental game. The physical game is a whole different game that you have to play in order to exercise the understanding of the mental game.
It
does
doesn't
help you.
Physically.
It does.
Mentally, yes.
You just have to exercise.
But I mean,
the mental is the precursor to the physical, right?
Playing video games about something is not going to build your strength or flexibility and that sort of stuff, but it's going to build your mental ability to do it in real life. For example,
effectively.
For example, if somebody let's say somebody who's never played a shooter video game in their life goes out and picks up a gun, they're gonna fear that. And I feel like there's a definite level of fear that's taken out of it when you've played a video game that's shooting stuff, or driven a car in a game. It's like okay, it's like turning like you know what I'm saying.
So then,
it's
what
like,
you're saying is video games could actually essentially lead to gun violence.
No,
because someone who plays a lot of a gun game then are no longer afraid of holding a gun or shooting that gun.
No,
that's exactly what you just said.
No,
it's literally what
I'm
you just
saying
said.
is it takes a lot of the fear out of it, yes, but at the same time, it's like you can't translate that into I want to go kill people.
Yeah, taking someone's life is a lot stronger than just shooting a gun.
That's
exactly. You shoot your friend in a video game, your friend still comes over the next day to play some more.
Well,
Dick Cheney shot his friend in the face.
I don't know. We played Halo that one time. We have not played Halo since. Fuck that. I mean, don't play Halo with him. It's not fun. It's not fun.
What was that, Halo Reach?
Yeah, because we did Reach Racer.
I had just I just met Joven for the first time that day, and then we played Halo with a couple people. They didn't play me in Halo anymore.
Nope. It wasn't fun. You just won. You just won. You had a pistol and shot me from across the screen, across the map. Not fun.
That was fun.
Well,
I forgot how to do this, by the way.
Nice. That's perfect.
I think about video games in terms of therapy and potential. It's as I embrace it as a mental game, the mental which ultimately can, if you're willing to put in work, translate to the physical and development of aspects of the physical, making it very real. That is how I think of terms of application from an influence of video game to the physical.
I think, yeah, this jump. Multi-pass,
Lilo Dallas multipass.
What was the thing I'm trying to say?
Tasking?
Multitasking. Wow, something I'm not good at the moment. Multitasking, imagination, and hand-eye coordination you can get from video games. I think those are like really big things.
Yeah.
And improv skills.
See?
Coming across
And
moments.
this all, yeah, because a lot of video games you have to react.
Yeah.
You have to be ready to react, and once you know the game inside and out, all of a sudden you're just good at the damn game. So we didn't. We'll save some questions for next time. We had a lot of. I mean, we've been out for a long time. There's been.
We're in the most busiest time of our year.
We've been very busy. Thank you all for watching. Again, the challenge reminder, SGA challenge is up July 24th. Make your videos, be creative. Set up a camera. There's so many different things you can do.
Our episode of GTS just went up where we announced the winner, right?
Yeah.
And that's up. So now by being part of the SGA, you now see that you can actually wind up on Smosh Games.
Actually wind up on. He's getting flown out here.
Yeah,
from Tejas. He's from Texas.
Ooh.
He's getting flown out here. I think we're doing some like VidCon stuff with some SGA members.
Oh, we're definitely gonna do that.
We have some people coming out. Some people who couldn't come out because maybe their parents wouldn't let them come out. So we got some other people to come out. We are connecting. We're connecting with you as best we can. We're touching on all points we can, even touching on your name, Spiral Master.
Or touching on me.
Sully ×5, Steven Sherrier, Pterodactyl, of course, Abby Delaney, the Mashup Man, I've said your name before, Lalzosaurus, which is a great name, Crash, Nolan MT.
Yeah, shout out to all these screen names with no numbers in them.
Yeah, Jay Dapper, Blaze Storm, I'm sure you are, Brooke Allers, Juan de la Cruz, I've said your name again, you can be absolutely excited. Lorena Munoz, Nico Bomb Gaming, Nico Tomb Gaming. What tomb is that?
I gotta
Zion Brown, Lizette Nava, Roaz, thank you all for watching Star Music. We will not be having an SGA Live next week. We will be at VidCon. We will be having a meetup. So come say hi. Come
SGA Live
hugs.
live.
If it's up to me, we might have a dance party because I like to dance and I like to make people move.
Do you like to move it?
I do. I like to move it twice. That's a
you like to move it.
Yeah. Claudia Santos. Hello, Danger Dragon. I will never say your name right. Liam Cole, Patrick Graham, Zin man, wow. You guys really like shout outs. I wish I could say them all. Mr. Mbai. I'm just gonna. Thank you for watching. Bye. Thank you for watching.
Mumbai.
Bye.
Who's watching from Mumbai?
Thanks for watching. The SGA challenge is up. If you're not in the SGA already, go to Smosh. Go to SGA. Smosh SGA. What's the website? I'm starting talking too fast. SmoshGamesAlliance.com. There's so many social things. I'm like Smosh SGA. I'm like, wait, is that the Facebook? No. Follow us on Twitter. Just be around. We work better in proximity. We've been very busy. The forums are up. I will be spending as much time in there as I can. There is so much writing to do and so much preparing to do. All of this is for you, and it is out of freaking love and growth. And I hope none of you understand it as anything besides that. Appreciate all of you. Thank you, Wes. Thank you, Joven.
Well, thank you very much for having us on. Flitz.
Yeah, yo. Until next time, work with what you got to get what you want. And as I'm sure Sir Chris Shannon of now Bungie will say, do the damn thing! Joven and Wes are so weird together. It's hard to believe they actually live together. How did that work socially? You know what does work socially? Social media, and we teach you that in Smosh U 109, leveraging social. And speaking of social events, you shoot your friends in the face with lasers and you have fun doing it because fun ship. You want to check out some Comic-Con experience? You're gonna want to click here.